driving. Now, it's not often I feature a hot rod on Furious Driving, but when I do, I make sure it's a really silly one. So welcome to Ostentatious. In true old hot rod style, this is loud and obnoxious, not very comfortable and ergonomically pretty awful. The seat does move back further, but if I sit back further I can't reach the gear shifter. This car is actually for sale and there's a link in the description below. So every hot rod is a little bit different. It's someone's mad idea, someone's great genius notion to build a car of their very own. And you may not know this about me, but I've actually worked on hot rod magazines for quite some time. Most notably Custom Car, where I was a regular photographer there for many, many years. Now this particular one, Ostentatious, follows the time-worn path of the British hot rod, which is in many ways aping the traditional American hot rods. So as we look around Ostentatious, you see all the classic 1930s based American hot rod ideas and clues and tricks and tropes, but based around an Austin A30. It works, but it kind of baffles your mind as to how it's working. It doesn't quite make perfect sense. Starting from the front, we've got the traditional cowl-less engine base. We've got full exposure to see all the workings of what's happening in the front. You want to see this on your hot rod because you want to see the big block V8, you want to see the chrome headers, you want to see all that kind of stuff. Of course, this is a Ford V6. So it's getting there, it's close. You can also see the fact we've got independent suspension because it's a Reliance Scimitar chassis underneath there. It's a big upgrade on the A30 and certainly a big upgrade on a 32 Ford. I love the fact it is still an Austin grille, but it confuses you as to what the car came from that donated the body shell to it, because it's not an A30 grille. This is from an Austin taxi, and apparently, and I'm told by the owner, I don't know this for sure, it was also shared with an Austin tractor of the same year. And now I look at it, I can kind of see that. Now I don't know when this car was built, but I'm gonna imagine probably late 70s, early 80s, judging by some of the styling cues and things. For example, the indicators down here and the way the lights are mounted, very tractor-like in fact, off the side of the grille. And of course we've got the ubiquitous, most 1970s alloy wheel of all, the Wolf Race, which lots of people absolutely adore. I'm gonna make myself very unpopular right now. I don't like Wolf Races. Sorry. It's just, I don't know, I just don't like them. But anyway, that's it, that's what it's got. So there you go. Moving back in pure hot rod style, we've got the car's name written on the side of it and on the scuttle here. Ostentatious, a hot rod needs a good hot rod name. If you look at things like Roadkill and Andy Saunders' amazing creations, they always have great names, and it's even better if it's a terrible pun. So Ostentatious, perfect. Moving back, we've got our Fame / American Graffiti style stripes down the side, swooping flames, and of course Ostentatious written down the side again. At the back, the A30 rear wing has been extended slightly to make room for a far, far bigger wheel. And coming fully around the back, we've got the A30 back end, but of course now it's a roadster. If you think of the cars, I'm actually thinking more of Fame than of American Graffiti or other two-lane blacktoppy type hot roddy films, because the general aesthetic, the vibe of this isn't like those kind of pure hot rod type movies. It's more like the musical theatre version of hot rodding than it is of, you know, traditional hot rodding in a funny sort of way. And also, this is kind of cool around the back, in case you're unsure what you're following, it says V6 A30 Ostentatious in big writing on the boot, so you cannot forget what you're driving. Incidentally, this is a roadster, as in there is no roof. That is the definition between a drop head coupe or a convertible. And this thing, it's a roadster because there is no roof. Now, when you get in the car, you'll notice in true hot rod style, it is shaved, it is smooth. There is no door handle to get into. You have to reach inside and use the inside door handle to open it up. And it's got the door handle at the front, so you think it's going to be suicide doors. It's not, it's a standard opening door. And that lets you in. Now, the car did come with these matching green vinyl leatherette seats as fitted to the A30 originally. However, they are uncomfortable and not at all supportive. So it has got this Recaro seat, which I'm don't know what it's from. I think it might be from a Ford actually, but it makes sense because of all the underpinnings, which gives it a bit more support. Let me show you the interior, which is a mad mix of Scimitar meets Austin A30 convertible. Now the thing about hot rods is there really are no rules. You just do whatever you want to do that makes the thing work and ideally looks good. So door panel, got this lovely kind of quilted leather green to match the original seats, looks good. Only a door handle on there, nothing else. Little leather check strap so the door doesn't swing too far open, but no window winder. Reason being, there's no window. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put my camera for filming this in a moment. I was going to say it's the original Austin carpet, but it's not the original Austin floor because we've got this transmission tunnel which has been created to fit the body tub of the Austin over the chassis of the Scimitar. The Scimitar, of course, being like a backbone chassis like you'll find on a Lotus and things. Step inside, over the big sills, and we've got the old speedometer from the Austin is just there, but with a Reliant tag just there so you don't forget. But we have got a GPS speedo tucked in behind the steering wheel. We've got a bank of dials to let us know what the situation is with the cars running. We've got something that begins with H, we don't know what. Our indicators are up here on the dashboard. You'll notice we've got an R and an L to remind us which is which, and they don't face the right way. So I'm guessing the switch used to be fixed the other way up. We've got a choke just here, an overdrive just there, which I'm not going to touch. And lurking down underneath the dashboard, we've got a rev counter, which I might better see through the holes in the steering wheel at some point. To the left of that I have got a Triumph information centre and a bunch of other things which I'm not going to bother with. Wipers, heater, and there is a heater down there I imagine. Yeah, you can see the water pipes down there. And of course hot rod, so we've got ourselves a cool GUI knob. This is a 14 ball from Paul. Now if you're wondering what's in the boot, because it has got a boot because it's still an Austin A30 at heart, well there's your petrol tank and there's your petrol tank filler. And there's your battery, and I'm assuming that's your windscreen washer bottle routed all the way to the front. Because this is a British hot rod, unlike Californian counterparts, you do have to have still functioning windscreen wipers because you will get caught in the rain. It's literally it. There is no other stuff to show you. Let's get back on the road. So underneath the exotic looks of the A30 with the flames down the side, this is in reality a Reliant Scimitar. I'm assuming the chassis has been slightly shortened. Hard to tell, to be perfectly honest, without actually measuring it. But up front we've got the ladder chassis protruding with the independent suspension, and we've got the Ford V6 in the centre with a big Edelbrock air filter on top. I assume that's an Edelbrock Performer carburettor underneath it. Let's get back on the road. Well, the wind noise has gotten too much and it's starting to rain really badly, so here's some narration instead of the rest of the video from inside the car. Now mechanically this is all Reliant Scimitar, so a Ford V6, 4-speed gearbox, independent core suspension, disc brakes and easy accurate steering. Although this pays homage to the classic rods of the 40s and 50s based on the old 30s Fords, it's much more civilised and more modern than the leaf springs and drum brakes of the 32, 34 or Model A or B Ford that we're so used to seeing as the basis of your traditional hot rod. And even if it does lack the good old flathead V8, we do have plenty of power and easy maintenance with the Ford V6. Driving is easy, the controls are light enough, and visibility with no roof or C or B posts is incredible. Unseen underneath the car is some very to make these two cars fit together. We've got the backbone chassis from a Reliant Scimitar sitting down the middle of the car, and we've got the body from an Austin A30 which is not designed to sit on that kind of chassis at all. So there's some very clever fabrication work has gone on underneath, and inside the floorboards are completely flat. The telltale is of course that the transmission tunnel is also very square and boxy, so you can see some homemade DIY fabrication has gone on. And as I say, I do think the chassis has probably been shortened a little bit, but I didn't bring a tape measure so I can't be sure. So the question is, does using an Austin A30 hit the mark design-wise? Well, almost, and I've seen rods and customs looking far less right with much more obvious donor cars. For me, a colour change and different wheels would have this looking just right. But that's hot rodding. Whatever you build, you've only got to build it to please yourself, so whatever. Thank you for watching. So I know this has been a different video to usual, and thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please, as always, hit like and of course subscribe, and see you again next time driving something completely different.